Imagine waking up to a breathtaking view of Sydney Harbour, sipping on your coffee while the Opera House and Harbour Bridge stare back at you like they own the place. Sounds like living the dream, right? Well, that's exactly what I thought when I booked a night at Sebel Quay West Suites. Spoiler alert, the view was incredible, but the rest, In this review, we'll go over the room, amenities, and whether or not the hotel justifies the hefty price tag, or if it's all about the postcode. And stick around to the end where I'll give it a ranking on the Calamity Scale. Let's start off talking about booking. Now, booking the hotel was pretty straightforward because I used Virgin Hotels to earn some extra velocity points. Got to keep those perks rolling in. I was able to pay up front, which is great because I love committing to a non-refundable booking in a world where plans change at the drop of a hat. Just a heads up. Most of the bookings on there, you can't make changes or cancel when you book. They do have other bookings there that you can do changes with, but they tend to come with a heftier price tag. I book most of my hotels this way, mainly so I can rack up points and use them to pretend that I'm fancier than I really am. Let's talk about check-in and check-out. First of all, the parking situation. So there's 2 car parks available to the Sebel. At the back, there is the Wilson's car park, which is about $69 overnight. However, it is on timed parking as well. So if you're going in and out, you're going to be looking at having to pay a new fee every time you go in and out of the car park. As for the Sebel's other option, they do have valet parking there for $79 for a night, which was pretty handy. I wish I'd known that before I parked my car into the Wilson's car parking space. Luckily enough, I was in and out of the Wilson's in like 15 minutes, so I didn't get any charges. Check-in was quick and easy. Shout out to the receptionist who managed to butcher my name despite me spelling it out multiple times. It happens all the time, so I wasn't really fazed. But one other thing is that I did ask for extra key cards because we were staying with friends in this room. I was told, sorry, the system isn't working. So obviously if there's something going on with the system, that happens. But it did make it a bit of an interesting problem for us, particularly when I went down to the pub with my friend and lost the key card. So we only ended up having 1 card for our entire stay. About checkout, look, it's 10 a.m., not 11. Most hotels that I've stayed in, they do an 11 a.m. checkout. No request, like asking if I'd like to request a late checkout or anything like that. Just a hard 10 a.m. And I didn't see any options where you could request a late checkout at all. If you've been out the night before, like we had, you're pretty much going to be getting up, running to grab a coffee, running around packing up, and then you're going to try and get out of there before 10 a.m. So don't expect to sleep in. I don't understand really why 10 a.m. is the limit, particularly for something where it's like, this is a hotel that you're probably staying at to go on adventure and look around in the area, being that it's located in Circular Quay. Now about the room, we stayed in the Deluxe 2-king bedroom harbour view apartment. The translation of that is that it was big, fancy, and meant to make you feel like a millionaire. That's certainly the vibe I got, even if it's only for a night. The room was huge, had a massive living room, dining table, 2 bathrooms, and a view that I think really does all the heavy lifting here. The kitchen had 2 fridges, one for your own stuff and one for the minibar. We did avoid the minibar and didn't get any purchases there, but when I looked at the prices on there, they seemed reasonable for a hotel. There was also a laundry set up in there, which is great if you wanted to do your laundry. Big washing machine, big dryer as well, if you are so inclined to do that. Now on the bedrooms, both bedrooms had king-size beds, which were really, really comfy. Pillows were decent too, unless you like them firm. In that case, bring your own pillows. Main bedroom had 2 wardrobes in there. There were some robes and some slippers, unless you have big feet like me, in which case the slippers will they're really, really tiny. The second bedroom was just as nice. Both had amazing views of the harbour as well. So if you're a morning person, congrats. If not, the blackout curtains will help you out getting that very limited sleep in. Now, this room had 2 bathrooms, the ensuite bathroom to the main bedroom and another one in the main area. That ensuite bathroom had a bathtub, massive mirror, a shower that's big enough for 2 people, but it's about as functional as a screen door on a submarine. Seriously, the shelf placement was a little off and I was just asking to be bumped into. I'm a little bit of a chunkier guy. So moving around inside of the shower could have been a little bit dangerous if knocking off that glass shelf, but yeah, I managed to make do and didn't hurt myself, I guess. The water pressure was decent, but for the price I was kind of hoping for one of those fancy rainfall shower heads. Look, the second bathroom, it was smaller, but it did the job. It's a bathroom, it's not supposed to be a suite inside the suite, right? So let's cover over the hotel amenities. The pool and recreation area had potential, but the execution was a little crap. The balcony overlooked the harbour, which is great if you're wanting to go sit out on the balcony, but the pool sort of overlooked the next door neighbour hotel, the Shangri-La. It was also packed, which made it a little less luxury retreat and a little more local pools. There were plenty of people in there taking advantage of being in the pool, but it made it for a really noisy experience. And even sitting in the spa, it was very cramped. It wasn't really very relaxing and you couldn't really get much going on in there. There is another pool on the other side of the building, which looks way better. It sort of looks like it mirrors the same sort of pool setup, but it looks like it's off limit to hotel guests for God knows what reason. And during peak season, you'd think they'd open that up, but apparently not. We had a look in the gym, and honestly, it wasn't even worth taking footage of. They had a treadmill, they had a bike, they had a couple of free weights and a couple of machines. Pretty standard hotel gym, but it was pretty disappointing. Now for the food, we didn't try any of the food, and honestly, it didn't inspire any confidence. I did check out the bar, and it didn't look like it was well stocked. Basically, the usual things that you'd expect. A couple of different spirits, a couple of different wines, a couple of beers that were inside of the fridge, so bottled beer only, but no tap beers, nothing where you could sort of sit down and just go and grab a quick drink before you head out. I'd suggest, look, you're in Circular Quay and you're literally across the road from a number of other bars. Walk out the door, get away from the hotel bar. I don't really think that it inspired confidence for food either. And also on that early checkout, that sort of stopped us from thinking, hey, maybe we should go get breakfast, because we didn't know what it was going to be like, whether or not it'd be worth it. But like I said, you're in Circular Quay, walk out the front door, you'll land somewhere that's pretty good. As for tech and connectivity, plenty of power points for your chargers, which is great because nothing kills a vibe like fighting over outlets, right? That said, there was no USB ports in the walls, and that's sort of something that you expect out of modern hotels. I guess they just haven't done the update. The hotel was mostly accessible, but the pool and recreation area, stairs everywhere, so if you've got mobility challenges, I wouldn't recommend staying here if you want to go for a dip. I don't understand how that's a thing, even to the point that, like, in the lifts, it does say in there that catch the lift to level 23 to use the stairs to go to the recreation area. So it's almost like excluding people with mobility issues straight out the gate. The location, though, unbeatable. You're in Circular Quay. You've got easy access to trains, light rail, buses. You're walking distance from Sydney's biggest landmarks, Opera House, Harbour Bridge. You're right next to the rocks. You're right next to the oldest pub in Sydney, or oldest pub in the rocks. Either way, it's a good spot for a beer. If you're paying for the view and convenience, that's really where it shines. They did claim to be eco-friendly, but other than the usual leave your towels on the floor if you want them washed, I didn't notice too much there. Sustainability seems to be a bit more of a buzzword as opposed to a real focus. If I had to think of anything that was unique or memorable about staying at the Sebel, it's probably just the view. Everything else felt pretty standard compared to its neighbours like the Shangri-La or the Four Seasons, where whilst they might be a little bit more pricey, they definitely amp up the luxury and you're getting a bit more for what you paid for. This place is really banking on its location over the luxury. When I think about who would normally stay here, the hotel seems ideal for business travellers, during the week, maybe even like if you're doing a big stint, and families during the holidays. But even with that, I don't necessarily know if this hotel knows what its identity is. Like, it seemed like it was there for business travelers, but didn't offer really much on the side of having somewhere that was nice to go for a feed. It didn't really offer anywhere where it was good to go for a quiet drink when you've come back from whatever it is that you're doing for work, if you're traveling for work. So it really sort of is sitting right in the middle of everything, thus making it not really have an identity at all. I don't know if that makes sense, but it did to me. For the price, we paid $993.66 for one night. That's Australian dollars. And that was split between 4 people. So sure, while I earned 2,981 velocity points, but for that price, I expected a little more oomph. I felt like we were paying for the view and the postcode and not much else. So I'm going to give this a rating on the Calamity Scale. The Calamity Scale is just completely unscientific and based entirely on my thoughts. On the Calamity Scale, I'd give it a solid 3 out of 5. The view was great, the room was fine, but for the price, I've had better experiences elsewhere, and it's not bad, but it's just not great. And when you're paying $1,000 for a night, you're sort of expecting that. So that's the review on the Sebel Quay West Suites at Circular Quay. If you've stayed here or have other Sydney hotel recommendations, drop them in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more things on travel, airports, hotels, theme parks. If you want to stick around and see that sort of stuff, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.